Well, it's the wee hours of Monday morning, and it's time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every last one of you. And do the little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. I have spent the last week agonizing over the question of how am I going to do all these fucking graphics? How am I going to get all this shit done? How am I going to make myself into a good enough artist that I can actually make the goddamn graphics? And finally, I just had to concede the point and go, why am I fucking bothering with this? I have 10 gigs of existing licensed stock game assets just from Pioneer Valley Games, who have an excellent end-user license agreement, and I don't even have to credit them, which means I can credit them however I want, and they won't yell at me if I don't do it right. I would never just plain not credit somebody. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's okay. But crediting somebody wrong is somehow even worse than, like, not crediting them at all. So it's just like, you know, if Pioneer Valley Games has provided these assets and they go, you don't have to give us credit. Be nice if you did, but you don't have to. There's no wrong way to do it. Nobody's going to yell at me about it. That's always my worry when I use somebody else's work in something that I do, is that they're going to show up and yell at me for doing something wrong. Well, according to my license agreement, you can't do this wrong. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And what I've been doing as a result is, let's see, let me click over to the correct monitor here. What I've been doing is I've been putting together these sort of atlas files in Clip Studio Paint, where I can browse through. And one of the things that I'm finding is there are 3 different formats that the human characters use in PV games graphics, and the one that I'm mostly working with has like all of these individual elements that go onto a sprite sheet. Okay, so we've got sprite 1, sprite 2, sprite 3, and sprite 4, because there are a lot of animations. It's really well done. And then you've got the bust and the face and the paper doll, but I'm only really using the sprite. I'm not really using the paper doll models. I could, but I'm not currently planning on it. So the thing is that there are also, if you come down here and you go into like the medieval plague bringers, then there are humans in here, and they're very different because these have these kind of split out. They have these split out animations, but they also have a master sheet. The thing is, the master sheet is 3072 by 3072, whereas the other bits that I've been using in these, I think these are the 2.5D. I think that's, yeah, the 2.5D character pieces. Well, these aren't the World War II character pieces. They're the Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. And those have very different sprite sheets, because the sprite sheets here, your sprite sheet number 1 is 3,840 by 4,000. So that's 2 different formats, but there's also a third format that you find on others. That if I come down in here, I think Interiors has a bunch of them. If you go into Interiors Female 1, and it still has a 3K by 3K master sheet. There might only be two formats, but but yeah, that's kind of an issue. And what I've been doing is I've been working with just these top level 2.5D characters, the female classes of all these sorts. I've got a male and female version of each of the classes. And for all of those classes, I've just kind of gone in and I've added all of the individual bits and pieces into a folder that I can then just kind of go into and turn things on and off. Like I can turn off the top and the bottom, and now she's in her underwear. And I can turn off the helmet on her head and it's just her hair, and I can take the bow out of her hand or put it back in, depending on how I want to do it. If I kind of scroll in on this, you can see that we've got the bow in her hand, got the hair on her head, we got a helmet that typically goes over top of that, we've got the quiver on her back, and then there's the base character model right there. And then on top of that, well, actually, yeah, on top of that, we have the bottom and the top of her outfit. And all of that goes together to provide the full set of options for this character. And all of the individual pieces within the Pioneer Valley Games setup are designed to kind of work together. So I like that, and I'm not going to have to worry about trying to get disparate art styles to fit together. But all of these are kind of they're 3D rendered. So because they are 3D rendered and kind of dumped out to pixel graphics, there's a certain look and feel to them, and I'm not sure how the user interface is going to look next to that. But I took all of the different character setups that I have available from that set, and I put them into a kind of an atlas file, and then I did the same thing with a bunch of additional sprites, so I can like look up individual sprites out of the collection, and it'll just be easier for me to find specific things that I'm looking for. I mean, it's still kind of browsing through and knowing how the library is organized, but but that is going to be a great deal easier than browsing through the file system, because it's almost the same as browsing through the file system. So if I were to go, okay, so I'm going to look in the underdeep models, and I'm going to see if I can find a chest. So I'm going to turn on one of these, and that's just walls. That's also just walls. More walls. That's ground tiles. More ground tiles. Okay, I think we got to look farther up. There we go. There's some stuff, but that's not the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. That might be, have I got a chest in there? I don't see one. There we go. There's a chest. Right up here at the top. Here is a chest. So what you can do, in Clip Studio Paint, if you hold down Control and Shift, and you drag across any visual element, it will select the layers that element is on. So now that you've selected that, you can now switch over to your rectangle marquee and select that sprite. And I can copy that, Control C, and then I have a button mapped directly to new file from clipboard, which automatically creates a white paper layer, which I don't want. I want that to be transparent. So there's a chest sprite, and it was just that easy. I just had to find it and clip it out and put it in there. That's not necessarily the one I want to use. I want to look for more stuff like that, but I have kind of a list of stuff that I want to find. And essentially what I'm going to do on this video is just kind of browse through and find all of the stuff that that I want to find. So, the sprites that I need a treasure chest. I need some kind of chest particles, so when you break the chest, it breaks into pieces. I need a gold pickup, the experience pickup. That I'm gonna have to draw some pairs of panties. There's no way around that. I'm gonna need a crossbow, and I'm gonna need an arrow graphic. So those are what I'm looking for, is a chest, a crossbow, an arrow, a little pile of gold. I'm not going to find a pair of panties in this set of stuff. And something that I can use for chest particles, I think. And if all else fails, I can just use the chest texture itself and pull it to pieces. Or I can do some kind of effect just all by itself that gets superimposed over the chest, like a little explosion effect or what have you. What have we here? What is this? That's not a pile of anything. These are piles of gems. That's a pile of gems anyway. I'm not sure I like that treasure chest. I'm going to try and find one. I want something with more of a pirate feel, so I'm going to look in the high seas folder. And in the high seas folder, I'm just going to kind of click through. These are walls and ceiling textures. Those are ground textures, more ground textures, more stuff. There are some crates here. I don't dislike the crate. That's a maybe. And there's these are stairs, it looks like. And here that's interesting. This is nothing but chests. The only question is, which one do I actually want to use? And this is amusing. There's all kinds of bowl of fruit, it looks like. Okay, so here are some fairly nice chests. I like this one right here. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to a rectangle select there, copy, and I'm going to paste into a new image and chuck the paper. So there we have kind of our chest. I'll have to take a look and see what the details of the texture are. And honestly, I'm not sure whether I like that. I think maybe I just want a straight up treasure chest facing straight on, or maybe facing off to the other side. I don't know. I'll have to test some stuff out and see how it works, but I do like this chest. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. I'm gonna save it off to the I'm gonna go into my GitHub folder and into the game folder and into the assets folder and into the graphics folder, and I want this in a PNG format, and we're going to do chest. Yeah, that'll work. So we'll use the chest.png. We've got our chest particles. I don't think I'm going to find anything for chest particles in here. Let's poke through a little bit more. Okay, yeah, and could modify that stack of cannonballs to be a pile of coins. But I don't know. Okay. Let's go into dungeon and see if we can find a pile of coins. Now, hold on. I think it was in interiors, there was a professions group, and there was a crossbow in there, right there. We're going to control shift. Yep, that's the one we want, and we're already on the rectangle select. So we will grab that, copy it, and we'll paste it in. Dump the paper. There we have, that's our little crossbow image. All right. Wonder how well that's going to play. I should also do a grass image. That needs to go on my list. Yeah, ground image. Ground, trees, bushes, and rocks. And we're going to keep everything natural. We're not going to do any like ruins or anything on this. Well, let's go ahead and whack we'll whack save as there, and here we are in graphics. We're going to do crossbow, and again we want this to be a PNG. All right. Yep. Now I again do not hold out much hope for finding an arrow, but it shouldn't be all that hard to make one. I can probably just repurpose part of the crossbow. That might work. Is there a quiver of arrows by any chance? That would be useful. Here are more chests right here. I might want to use one of those instead of the one I picked. Ooh. Kind of like that one. Kind of like that one. Bolts of cloth. Let's see what we have right here. What is this? It looks like it's hay or something. And these are little piles of gold bars. I think maybe these are supposed to be coins. Here. I'm not sure. They don't look very good. I'm going to see if I can find something that actually reads like a pile of coins. Regal shop. Shop might have some coins. No, those are flowers. More chests. There's a good selection of chests in here. Okay, so let's look at, I don't see anything that looks even remotely like a pile of coins. Okay, so shop 2 maybe? Here, little pile of coins, right here. Yeah, I like that. There we go, and we've already got the rectangle selected. Let's reach up here and go, yeah, this. We will grab that. Control C, paste for copied, paste from clipboard rather. I'll toss the paper away. And all of these are based around a 96 by 96. sprite level. So that actually looks like a pile of coins. That looks like a little pile of coins. That'll work fine. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. So save that, and that'll be coins. So we want this in the PNG format. So it'll be transparent and everything. Okay, what else do we need? We got our treasure chest. We got our gold pickup. We got our crossbow. We don't have our arrow yet. We need ground. Something for the ground to look like. Don't have anything for that here, but I'm just kind of browsing to see if there's anything useful in here. There's a cake. You'd have a cake. Walls, more walls. All right, let's check town and country, and we'll see what we have in terms of. There we go. That's not sure how I feel about this as a background. There are some opportunities to do some variations here. This looks like it's keyed up to be used for tile sets. It'd probably work out pretty well now that I'm looking at it here. Yeah, quite likely. Probably not the sort of thing I want to use as my ground texture. Here's some useful stuff that I could like scatter around and whatnot. Here's some bushes. These bushes are fairly good up here. I could actually those are excellent. We got tree stumps, bushes, and yeah. So let's grab those. And nope, I screwed up on that. There we are. There we go. So this will be some decor sprites. Now I will have to go into Godot and specifically say what the hitboxes are for these. And I'm going to do that fairly simply. I'm just going to like throw a quick little circle in there or whatnot, because they don't have to be perfect, and I don't want to use up a whole lot of processing power just trying to deal with shit that's sitting in the path. The bushes I'm not going to do collision holes on. The rocks I will do, yeah, I'll do collision holes on the rocks and the two stumps. And then, let's see, there'll be... Oh, look at this. Here are some trees. Those two are very nice. Some very nice trees right there. That's a very nice tree. Well, these are all very good. I could use all kinds of stuff out of these. That'll be fairly quick and easy. I am going to have to spend some time on Friday talking about how to actually convert these over and have them working. Okay, so we've got trees, bushes, and rocks, but we need ground. We need like grass textures. There we go. That's a fairly good grass texture. Ooh, that's an even better one right there. Control Shift, make sure I got that selected. And then use my little rectangle select 2. Grab a little bit. Control C. Paste in, and then I got some of the fade on that. I'm going to grab those one by one. Let's call this decor. That'll be another PNG. And let's select right there. Okay, so how's that look? Well, it looks pretty good. What's the size on that? It is 91 by 94. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I am pretty sure that these are 96 by 96. So let's go a little bit bigger. And now let's see what we got. Okay, we've got 102 by 109. Let's just grab right here and we'll go 96 by 96. Now we will crop that. There we go. And at this point, I should be able to, we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it. Now we're going to expand canvas. File, maybe edit, change canvas size. Okay, so we're going to say 90. Why does it say 92 by 93? Why does it say 92 by 93? Do not save. This is 96 by 96. Control A, Control C. Paste from clipboard. And it should be 96 by 96. There we go. There we go. So this is 96 by 96. We're going to edit. We're going to change canvas size and we're going to make it... I'm going to keep the reference point where it is, and we're going to go 92 and 92. And now we're going to paste and move layer. And that is seamless. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to come back to marquee and we're going to grab both of these. Paste that in. Now we're going to take both of those and we're going to again move layer. Let me scroll in. Why do I have this white thing going on the bottom? There's that in there. Deselect. Marquee. They're going to Control C. I'm going to delete those. I'm going to Control C here. Control V. Move layer. What is going on down there? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these masks. Aha! Now, what is going on with that? Oh, it's not copied, just the pixelation. Oh, okay. Okay. It has masked off. Okay. I see what's going on there. Do not save. This is where we're starting from. We're getting rid of that. And we're going to rasterize. There we go. There we go. Learn something new every day. Let's edit. Change the canvas size. We're going to go 92. 192. We're going to anchor it up here to the top. And we're going to go, yep, okay. I just said anchor it to the top. Edit. Change canvas size. Edit, anchor there. Yep, there we go. Okay. Boom. There's that. Now, we will Control V. I'll scroll in. That is precisely where we want it to be. Now we're going to go Marquee. We're going to come down here. We're going to get exactly 96. Take these two. Actually, we're going to take this and we're going to flatten it down. Then we're going to move layer. And that should be a seamless transition. Again, seamless transition. There we are, and yep, close right in there. Okay. All right, so that is going to be our ground texture. Okay, so save as. There we go, PNG, and we're going to go ground. All right, and we got trees, bushes, and rocks. I'm not going to mess with trees, bushes, and rocks right now. I'm going to play around with those a little bit later. I'll probably work on that this Friday. Actually, do I really need to go over how to make menus? I'll just go ahead and build the menus, and I'll talk about putting the graphics in on Friday. Anyway. The next thing I want to do on this is I want to configure a cool looking female character of some sort. Now, the The character I've kind of been thinking about using as the base for Ichigo is the assassin. But I don't think the assassin is really that accurate. If I pull up the character design for Ichigo, no, not that. I want the open menu. Okay, so open, we're going to come up here and go, I'm going to go pictures, clip studio, reverse, and we're looking at Ichigo. Ichigo is a chick in a short black skirt with pink hair. So that's kind of what we're trying to design. Kind of brown leather boots. And I don't think I'm going to get too bound up in the single black stocking and the garter. I'm just going to try to hit what I can with various stuff. So let's start out by looking at hair. And she's got a kind of a double ponytail thing going on. So let's see if we've got anything like that actually. I'll bet the right place to look for this is in the character generator stuff. So let me come into my... Let me come back into my game assets here. And see what I can do in terms of finding some hairstyles. Medieval warfare, humans, female, female clothing. Have we got hair of any sort? We do not have any kind of hair. And accessories. Maybe just on heads. No, Medieval warfare female. Let's see, one. Yeah, there are no pieces here. There are no hair pieces here. They just like not have hair? Huh. Feet, head, scar, shield, tabard, top, weapon, several weapons. Huh. There don't seem to be any hairstyles for people in here. All right, so let's back up a little and go. Let me take a look in here. Have we got no pieces in that one? Let me kind of crawl through here looking at different hair. elements. Okay, that hair is just a ponytail. That's not the right thing. The assassin's definitely not going to have the right kind of hair. Oh, turn off the archer. Yeah, it's kind of a bun thing going on. Battle guard. Yeah, no hairstyle to speak of going on there. The Beastmaster, pull off the head. Oh, maybe? Not bad. The Beastmaster might be the right choice for this. So let's keep that in mind. Let me go down to the footman and let's go. What does the footman's hair look like? Yeah, the footman doesn't. Footman's not right. Knight, got to take off the helmet. Definitely not. The mage. This is almost certainly not. No, that's kind of a bob cut. The musketeer. That's a definitely not. Just kind of shaggy. A necromancer. Nope, not the necromancer. The rogue. Maybe? Not terrible. Not exactly what I'm looking for, though. The witch hunter. Take off the hat and... No, that's completely wrong. Okay, so... What we're looking at, the best available option for hair is the Beastmaster. So we're going to take that layer and we're going to duplicate it. And I'm going to drag it up to this area. We're going to do our kind of composite thing here. And I'm mildly nervous about this, but you're supposed to be able to mix and match. Witch Hunter is still... Witch Hunter's base turned off? Ah, the Witch Hunter needs to be... The Witch Hunter's hat needs to be below the base. Okay, so we've got the hair. Now, let's the different bases seem to be like different skin colors. Maybe Elven Archer is the one I'm looking for. There's the regular Archer. Head and hair off. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to use this one. So let's duplicate that base right there. We're going to have the hair in the base. And now we have to look at how to get a... we have to look at how to get the right kind of outfit on her. What if... Yeah, really, I should be putting these down at the bottom. Be putting these down at the bottom of everything, so so as I go through, I can and have a look at just the pieces that I'm interested in from a particular element. Like, here's just the bottoms of the mage. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. Yeah, it's not working so well. The necromancer, maybe. Not bad. Not really what I'm looking for. How about the rogue? What does the rogue's bottom part look like? Okay. I'm not happy with any of these. Witch Hunter, maybe? Turn off the rogue. Witch Hunter will turn off the hat, the hair, pistol, the base, top, striped pants. Yeah, I'm not so happy with that idea either. I mean, I've got options. I'm just not happy with. I'm just not happy with all of them. Happy with any of them, really. Battle Guard. Definitely not. What about just the Archer? I think that's about. I think that's about the best we're getting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Now we got to find an appropriate top. What makes a good top? Turn off the Archer. That actually is a good top. So the Elven top is about the right thing. Let's duplicate that. We'll drag it down. We got the bottom, we got the top, we got the hair, and we are going to leave off the weapon. So we got base, bottom, top, hair. So this is our immediate. Oh, she doesn't have a back accessory, so her top comes with the. Oh man, I don't like that. How's the Beastmaster in terms of? Top. What about the footman? No, the knight. No. Wait a minute. Footman has. Hmm. Maybe. I think maybe we're going with the rogue on this. Yeah. I don't really like having that thing on her back. Um. Yeah, we'll yank that and we'll give her the, how's the Musketeer's top? We pull all of that. What are we looking at here? Not bad. I think I would prefer the Rogue. All of this is very boring, I'm sure. But, yeah, I think we're going with the Rogue on this. I think we're going to duplicate that layer. Drag it down underneath the hair. Close up the Rogue and turn it off. And this is going to be our, this is going to be the, this is going to be Ichigo. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy that. I wonder if I can just drag this into a new file. Look that way. Let's close that. We'll create a new file here and say okay, and we'll come in here and just go Control V. And there it is. There's the copy of Ichigo. Delete that. Here she is. Hair, top, bottom, base. We will remove the paper. We'll come in here and I'm going to paste this again. Ichigo copy 2, and we're going to come in here and we're going to flatten, 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 and go flatten. What's that? And, ooh, we didn't want to flatten yet, did we? No, we didn't. Okay, well, that's going to be just fine. Delete layer. So we got the Ichigo copy right here, and we're going to turn that back on. And the first thing we need to do is come into our hair, and we need to alter the color because Ichigo has pink hair. I'm going to scroll in here, and we're going to go, yeah, let's do a correction layer for hue, saturation, and luminosity, and we're going to change the hue, and it's changing everything. Nope. Okay, so we're going to need to drag that out there. And we're going to need to create a new hue, saturation, luminosity, and it's still working on everything. So let's go into edit and we'll do tonal correction and we need to rasterize everything. That's a problem. So first we rasterize that, then we rasterize that, then we rasterize that. All of these need to be rasterized. Once they're rasterized, we can come into the hair and we can filter, edit, tonal correction, saturation, luminosity, and we want to do Saturation is not working well at all. What if, do we have a colorize filter at all? Filter correction, no. Edit, tonal correction. Color balance. Okay, so if I turn magenta down, okay, so that gives us a fairly good, that gives us a fairly good pink. Yeah. Okay, now we edit tonal correction, and now we do hue, saturation, luminosity. We're going to do saturation, more saturation. There we go. That looks good. Now we're going to take her top, and we're going to take this, and we're going to do a tonal correction on that. Do saturation, luminosity. Rotate the hue somewhat. No, let's not mess too much with the luminosity. Take the saturation down. I take the saturation all the way down, turn the luminosity all the way up, and it's just solid white. But if I pull it down here, if I give her a kind of light gray aesthetic, now let's turn the saturation up, and we'll just do let's do that kind of a turquoise maybe. Okay, I like that. We'll go with that. That seems to work out fairly well. So, okay, now I'll come down here to the bottoms. We'll edit, and we'll do a tonal correction on these. We're going to do a brightness contrast, and we're just going to pull brightness down. Dragging contrast up a bit. Now let's do a full hue, saturation, luminosity. We'll go luminosity down, saturation up. And we'll shift the hue a bit. Something around there. Okay. Just a bit. Okay. And now, if we take this and we copy all of these and we paste them, and then we go flatten, 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 and we call this flattened, and we turn these three off, and then we already have the paper turned off. So now we can take this and we can save it off as, let me jump in here and go into my GitHub projects, into the game folder, into the assets, into the graphics, for PNG, and actually, this needs to go under player, and we're going to do this as ichigo.png. And that should come out. That should work fine. At this point, I should be able to fire up Godot. And I want to take this first of all. I want to save this as, I want to jump into my pictures, Clip Studio, Gropaverse, Ichigo, Sprite in Clip Studio format, and save it with all of its various information. And then, okay, so I don't need to worry about the PB Games tiles. All of that's fine. Don't need to save anything. I don't need to save anything here. And in fact, kill that. And then I can just save that. And let's see what we got. I should be able to now throw this into the... I should be able to just toss this into the... Now that I've tossed it into the folder, I should be able to jump into GitHub, go to my game folder, go into the player folder, and I should at this point be able to take pencilgummy.png and rename it to placeholder, and then I can and copy this over here, and I can take Ichigo copy and rename it Pencilgummy, and that should, mind you, that should cause Godot to automatically load it when we start up the engine. So when I fire this up, and I bring up Yandere Survivors, and I bring that up in edit, and I take this, I may see some kind of indicator that it's recompiling. It's re-importing assets. Okay, and if we scroll in here, we see there's the player. These are not the same location. This is not the way it's supposed to work. If I build it, should come out fine, but if I run it What do I get? Man, all kinds of shit is going wrong here. What the hell is happening? That is a mess. So I'm gonna have to come over here, and I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I have to close this, and we're gonna see if I've completely hosed up everything. So, all right, so if I go into my game folder again. And I come into my player. $35.08 by 2480. Ooh, 35.08 by 24. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see what's going on here. We got messed up sizes. Why is that 35.08 by 2480? Okay, I gotta go in here and pull this back up. Okay, so yeah, that. There's my okay projects. Yeah, character's female. Go ahead and delete that. Yep. This one too. No, not that one. This one. Delete that. Yep. Okay, so we need to reopen this one. Open in Clip Studio Paint. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with the Elven Archer base, as I recall. And then we're going to come down to, we use the Beastmaster hair. Duplicate that layer. Up there. And okay, she should now have the hair, and there we go. And then we can come down here and we can go, there's the rogue. We're using the rogue's top. Duplicate that. Drag that up. And we were using the whose legs were we using? They were just kind of plain leather. Yeah, I think it was the Archer. Okay. All right, copy the bottom, duplicate, pull it up there. I think that was what we started with. Okay. Okay, so that's what we started with. And what we're going to do at this point is all the same thing that we were doing. This is 3840 by 4000. We're going to take all of these and we're going to rasterize them. And we are now going to come into the hair and do a tonal correction. Use saturation luminosity. Wait a minute, we had to do a colorize on it first, didn't we? We're going to do a tonal correction, color balance. Pull the magenta all the way down. Push the blue up, push the red up substantially. Now wait a minute, what we want to do on this is just edit, tonal correction, color balance. We just want to pull both the blue and the green down. Like so. Push the red up a bit. You don't want it too saturated. All right, and then we go edit, tonal correction, use saturation luminosity. Get it a bit more saturated, a bit more luminous. We want that kind of cotton candy pink look. All right, yep, there we go. Okay, so there's her hair. Now we come to the top. The top, and we go edit, tonal correction. We want to do hue, saturation, luminosity, and we want to get some kind of turquoisey color. That's nice. A little bit brighter. A little less saturated. There we go. Now we'll do the bottom, edit, tonal correction, use saturation, luminosity. Again, push the saturation up a bit, pull luminosity down, and we'll just push the hue a little bit. Pull that down a bit more, okay. And now, this is still 3840 by 4000, so I should now be able to take this, turn off the paper, and file, save as. I should now be able to jump into okay, this should do it. GitHub, stop groping me. Later, we're saving in PNG format and we're saving over pensugami.png. Actually, we're saving over ichigo.png. Now we're going to go ahead and save over pensugami. Yes, already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes. Okay. Now, open this up. I go and I take a look at it. Pentagon.png. What's the size? 3840 by 4000. That is correct. All right. Fire up Gato. Hit edit on Yandere survivors. It'll re-import assets. And now, let's see what we got. There we go. There we go. There is our replaced sprite, which actually looks good. Okay. All right. So we've managed to do that. We've replaced that asset. We've made that. We've made that work. That's one entire set of animations done in an hour, which is way faster than I was expecting, which means I could expect to get all of these animations done in, I mean, for all of the characters and all of the enemies, it'll take about a total of 120 hours. Well, because everybody's supposed to have like their own outfits and whatnot. I think I'm going to do some thinking about how I want the individual player characters to be represented. I'm not happy with this particular. I'm not happy with this particular layout of this character. It's not the way I envisioned the character. But, you know, maybe the quote-unquote artistic vision is not that important. Anyway, I've been at this for almost an hour and a half. The new sprite works. Again, Pioneer Valley Games, they do great assets. I've got a whole bunch of them. I don't have all of their assets, but I do have a lot of them. So check their shit out. It's on itch.io. And anyway, that's pretty much what I've got for this week. So okay, bye.